Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Rob's Plants and Things, and today we have a little bit of a plant haul. So my plant buying has slowed down a little bit, purely because because I'm starting my collection again. I know exactly what I want, and so I'm very good at just finding what I want very quickly, so I've kind of reached a point where I have most of what I want, and I'm also running out of space, which is not good. So we need to solve that. And I think I have a few solutions in mind, but we will talk about that eventually. It actually could be a topic for its own video. But anyway, I think I have five plants. I have 5 plants to show today. 2 of them came from 2 different nurseries, and then 3 of them came from 1 plant seller. So I will do them separately. I'll talk about the nursery plants first, and then we'll get down to the 3 plants from the plant seller. And the last 2 are plants that have been on my wish list for about a year and a half, maybe even more. So this is really exciting for me. So let's get started. So this is a Nepenthes that I found at Belgian Nursery in Kitchener, which is about 20 minutes away from me. I already have a bunch of Nepenthes, and this is I don't know whether it's a common Nepenthes, but it is an easier to grow Nepenthes, and it is one of those Nepenthes that you would find in a garden center. It's We're just gonna keep going. It is a common Nepenthes that you could find in a garden center, and I probably have similar ones already. We had a friend visiting this week, and he really wanted a air plant, and so we went to Belgian Nursery, which I'd never been before, and I'd heard it's amazing, and it really is. It's amazing. It has a bunch of stuff. It also has like Hoyas for great prices, so if anyone's in the area, drop by, it's great. And we kind of saw the carnivorous plants in the same section as the air plants. And I just saw this and I lost my mind because it is such a beautiful picture. Let me show you guys this. Look at this picture. It's just gorgeous. And it has around the lip those lines, that patterning. And I lost my mind over it because all the Nepenthes that I have small pictures. This is one of the first bigger ones. So I took it as a sign as this one is going to give me bigger pictures. So Lionel has been in and out of his litter tray a lot because he got a urinary blockage, and if anyone knows cats, urinary blockages means they have to go to the hospital because if they are blocked long enough they can die. So he is in and out of the litter box. He is okay now. He spent 2 days at the hospital. He's back and he is able to pee, but in very small amounts, so he's always going in and out and fussing over the litter tray, and that's him if you can hear it. So anyway, let's continue. It really drives me nuts that they don't put the actual name of, like, the species name of the Nepenthes when they sell them at nurseries, because this one just said Nepenthes-Asian, which gives me nothing. But I did do a little bit of research, and I think this is an alata. I think. I'm not 100% sure. It's not a ventricosa, I don't think. And I don't think it's a ventrata because I have a ventrata. So we're gonna say that. I have recently gotten really obsessed with Nepenthes because I just love the pictures, and I also have a lot of flies in my house at the moment, which these are slowly helping take care of. We had a lot more, and now they've reduced quite a bit because I have a bunch of Nepenthes and carnivorous plants, which I think I should do a video on. But anyway, care for these Nepenthes is super easy. Lots of bright light. Humidity is important. Bright light is more important for the pictures, but humidity is important as well because they come from very humid countries like Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Northern Australia, and don't let them dry out. So I always use my moisture meter, and I stick my moisture meter in, and with my Nepenthes, I let it hit like a 3 minimum, and then I water them thoroughly. And they seem to like it. If your Nepenthes do wilt, Brad at Brad's greenhouse, who I bought a Nepenthes from before, said if they do wilt, pour some water in the pitchers. That helps them rehydrate as well. But anyway, so if anyone knows exactly what Nepenthes this is or what hybrid it is, please tell me, because I like to have accurate name tags. And I still haven't named this. So if anyone has a idea for a name for this one, because I name all my plants, let me know. This is Nepenthes, I think, alata. I think. But yeah, there you go. Okay, so Lionel is not peeing, he's pooping, and it is very smelly. I walked out to check on him, and it was very smelly. So that's nice. He's now on a wet food diet purely, which means his poops are just... Well... Oh god. It keeps going. Okay. This is Lapidaria margaritae. We went to Royal City Nursery, which is one of my favorite nurseries in Guelph. It's probably the biggest one in Guelph itself. But anyway, I love it there because they always have something that I want. And we kind of walked around. I didn't really see anything I really wanted. I kind of wanted a Hoya. Oh no, wait, I did get a Hoya. I bought a Crimson Queen. But I'm going to cover that in another video, which is all my Hoyas. And next to the Hoya was this. And it is so cool. So this is, they labeled it as a living stone, which I guess it is. It was next to all the lithops. I don't like lithops because I think they just look weird and I don't like it. It's like, looks like brains. It grosses me out. But this one was really cool. This is my Lapidaria margaritae. I called it onyx. And it's so cool. It just looks like these like stones. And I found this pot as well, which is, come on. That's so cool. So this is a cool one. So very much like other succulents. It stores a lot of water in its leaves. Let it dry out. I give it direct sun. The girl at the nursery said give it a lot of sun. So I gave it a lot of sun. It looks happy so far. You can propagate it, as I was reading, by breaking it off and sticking it in soil, and it will grow again. They grow little yellow flowers out of these little bits here. So that would be 1-2 leaves by itself, and they grow flowers out of there, which I hope it flowers. That would be cool. And the interesting thing about this is it's the only species known in its genus, which means Lapidaria only has this one plant, but but it's still in its own genus, which is fantastic, and that's scientific reasons. They get down to the cellular. Oh my gosh, Archie. Archie just toppled my laptop over, which he's done multiple times. It's got a crack in the bottom of the screen a little bit. That's an old one though, I think. So anyway, it's the only one in its genus, which is pretty cool, and I just absolutely love it. It sits on my desk, right, looking at me, like that, and I absolutely adore it. It's so adorable. I really hope I don't kill it because apparently it's actually kind of hard to find. They didn't have that many there anyway. So I'm just really happy with this. And it's got great root growth, actually. If you look at that, that's great. Look at that. And, and the pot itself, it was $10, but it was 30% off. So it was really cheap as well. So this was really fun I really like this. Wes, credit to Wes, he's the one who saw it and pointed it out to me. So that is it. That is Lapidaria margaritae, my living stones. So as I said earlier, I have started collecting Hoya. So I have a whole Hoya shelf that I have just put up, and I'm actually getting another one soon with grow lights, and then we will talk about my Hoya. Anyway, this is the start of the plants that I got from We Pot Plants. Her name's Heather. She grows them in her basement in grow tents, and she sells them out of her garage. She has a website. We'll link it down below, and she sells a lot of plants that I want. Basically, she's a Hoya head, so she has a lot of Hoyas, and she also has a lot of Syngoniums. But she also stocks a lot of other stuff that I like, and she has a lot of variety too, and it changes with her imports as well. And this one, she was doing a clear out sale before the new stock came in. Not came in. Before she put the new stock up, and she sold this on her Instagram stories. And I saw this and I had to have it. I didn't think it was gonna be so big, but this is Hoya lambii. So it's one of the big leaf Hoyas. So if you have a look there, there's a little bit of damage on it, but I'm not surprised for a Hoya that size. So that's fine. A Hoya this size that's been imported, it's fine. And it's growing, so that's nice. It was an impulse buy, so I'm gonna say that this was an impulse buy that led into the next buy, which was also an impulse buy technically, and you would have seen it on my Instagram stories. But anyway, so this lambii, I don't know too much about it. It does have a little bit of it's a thick waxy leaf, but it's a bit thinner than other waxy Hoyas. But I'm a sucker for a big leaf, so I repotted it straight away purely because it was in moss and it couldn't stand up, so I needed something heavier than moss. So I put it in a really barky epiphytic mix that it would do well in. This is the little cup it came in. Hoyas like to be root bound, so I'm going to keep it in this pot for a long time. All my Hoyas are going to stay in small pots for now, but it hasn't given me any trouble since I've gotten it, and it is absolutely adorable. I absolutely love it. I keep staring at it. I keep taking it down off the Hoya shelf and just staring at the leaf because it's the size of my hand. It is the size of my hand. Yeah. Let's see how is it. Yeah, next to my face. Yeah, how big it is. It's pretty cool. I haven't done too much research on it. This plant, I normally do a lot of research on plants, but this one, I figured, look, it's a Hoya. What's the worst that could happen? I give all my Hoyas gentle morning light, and it should be fine. Let it dry out, keep it root bound. It had great roots on it as well, so that's nice. And I'm just so excited to see what the next leaf looks like. I think I'm going to be waiting a while because the growth point is broken off there. So there. But that trick with which I started with the spraying Hoyas with orchid fertilizer once a week actually has made all my other Hoyas grow really quick. They put out new growth points straight away. So I'm hoping that will be the same case with this one. I actually do need to give this a water soon. Oh no, there's moisture in there. Anyway, this is Hoya lambii. So these next two are plants that I said previously that I've wanted for at least a year and a half, maybe even longer for one of them. And in Australia, Sydney, they just cost way too much for me to purchase. They were just so expensive. And that's the thing that I found moving to Canada is I've been able to find a lot of my wish list plants for a lot cheaper, which is great because it makes my move to Canada feel like the right choice. But anyway, the first one is an impulse buy. I went in to pick up my lambii from Heather, and I was like, do you have any more squamicals? Philodendron squamicals. And she said yes. She pulled this out. I wasn't going to buy it, but then I saw it and I was like, it's such a beautiful specimen. I will put the picture that I put up on Instagram of it, and I was just as if I was not going to buy this. So I spent a lot of plants this week. But this is my Philodendron squamical. It looks a little bit like a serpent, and as Heather said, the serpents tend to sell quicker. I don't know why, because she said she really likes the squamical. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I guess the serpents is a bit lighter and greener, maybe. Apparently there are a few ways to tell if they are squamical or serpents. So apparently squamicals, their inflorescences have some hair on it. So if you look at the squamical closely, it does have fuzzy, hairy petioles, and apparently their inflorescences get that too. And also they get a little bit of they get the hair on the midrib there, where they the petiole meets the leaf. I think that's called the midrib. I can't remember. And apparently they're darker. But yeah, so apparently those are the differences. I just absolutely wanted one, and look, I'm one of those people that, like, if I can find something like that, I don't need another one of it. So I probably would not buy a Serpens. That's how I feel about the Brazil. Would never own a cream splash because I can just get a Brazil, or a Rio, you know. So yeah, so I absolutely adore this. It's done well. Absolutely no adaptation required because it's a philodendron. Like they don't really need much from you, right? You just chuck them in the corner and they do well. Not all of them, but most of them. And I absolutely adore this. It's got great leaves already, like that. There, let's get that in the focus. Oh, there. I've got that one. Is that the newest one? No. So I think this is the oldest leaf. It looks like it. This is another leaf. I think this one suffered in the import, when she imported it. She does acclimatize them, so that's great. So that was a bit of a damage, but then this leaf is fine. No problems with this one. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Ooh. And then we've got a new leaf coming in, and I think that's going to be a big one because I can already tell it's quite large. So that's exciting. And the thing that I'm obsessed with is the fact that the caterpillars have hair on them. That is so cool. I absolutely adore that. That's fantastic. Some people would hate this. Some people don't like this because of the hair. I think they're nuts if they don't like this. This is great. Like, I can't stop touching it. I've popped it under right near a grow light. It's doing its thing. It is in moss. Heather does grow most of her acclimatize most of her stuff in moss. I have a little bit of trouble converting stuff from moss to soil, so I wait as long as I can before I redo it. Although Lori at Secret Garden has taught me a trick, and it's just like put them in like warm water, leave it there, and slowly peel the moss off, and it might take an hour, but you know, at least you don't lose roots or anything like that. And I did do that with the lambii, and it worked really well. So I will do that in about a week. I haven't decided if I'm going to give it a pole or if I want to. I was wondering whether I could grow this like almost trailing, but I also am a sucker for big leaves, so we'll see. But this lambii has made me not lambii. This squamicle has made me super happy. I'm so happy with this. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like, it just makes me happy looking at it. Like, how often do you get a plant like that? You know? So, I'm really happy. I'm really, really happy. So, that is my Philodendron squamicle. Okay, so a little bit of story time for this next plant. I've wanted it for a long time, ever since I saw it on Kaylee Ellen's channel. And it has been a task trying to get this plant because I've been searching. It has not been for lack of trying. I looked for it initially in Australia. It was just way too expensive in Australia. It was going to cost me like at least $1,000 to get it. No, I'm not going to spend that much for it. Considering it's a hybrid. Considering the parents of the plant and how resilient those plants are, I knew that eventually it would get to a point where it was affordable. So I was not going to spend that much for it. I knew it was cheaper here as well. So when I moved here, I started looking. Like a month or two ago, I found a one-leaf cutting for $50 online, and they could ship it to me, but it was going to cost $55 to ship it, or $55 or $65, and I was not going to pay more than the plant for the plant, considering it was one leaf. And then I saw it on Centered by Plants, which was 2 leaves for $129. It was sold out, but I was like checking regularly to see if it came back. But it also seemed just way too steep for what it was, unfortunately. I think and then Heather put on her stories that she was her Instagram stories that she was doing an import, and if anyone requested anything, and I did put a request in for this plant, and she brought it in. She has 4 of them. She had 4 of them. No, she has 3. And when I went to pick up my lambii and when I bought the squamicle, I mentioned it to her that I was looking for one, and she brought me into her basement and she showed me her bronzes, and she said they're going to be ready on Thursday, and I picked them up on Sunday. So yesterday was Thursday. I bought it and I picked it up today. and she let me pick which one I wanted, and I couldn't pick, but I picked the one with the biggest leaf, obviously. And I mean, let's just talk about it. This is Philodendron Florida Bronze. Okay, so I don't know if okay. Emily, my friend in Australia, knows this, but my goal was to get every single Florida out there. So I have the Florida Green, I have 2 Florida Ghosts, and I have a very tiny Florida Beauty, like a little. I'll put a picture up of it. Little Florida Beauty, and now I have the last one, the Florida Bronze. Like, this was the goal. This has been the goal for like almost 2 years, like to have all 4 of these, and I now have all 4 of these. So I'm so happy. Anyway, yeah. This is a hybrid of Philodendron Florida and Philodendron Black Cardinal. 2 of my favorite plants ever. I don't actually own a Black Cardinal at the moment. I don't know why I don't. I think I've been waiting for a big one because they look amazing when they're big. But anyway, what happens is the leaves... I wish I had a brand new leaf, but look. The size of this makes up for it. There's a new leaf coming in. There. Yeah, okay. So the new leaves come in bronze and then they fade to a green. And they get longer and more sword-like the older the plant gets. I mean, like... The Floridas are my favorite plant ever. Like, I cried when I sold my huge Florida Green back in Australia. I couldn't afford a Florida Beauty and I couldn't afford a Florida Ghost there because they're just way too expensive. So that was the only Florida I could have. And I was so upset. That plant was it was a meter tall. And it kept going. And it was rooted into a moss pole and it was getting bigger and bigger by the day. And I sold it and I was so sad. I cried saying goodbye to it because it was my baby. And I now have the complete collection, which is amazing. So, yeah. There's a lot of pressure for me to keep this alive now because it's currently in moss. It has an amazing root system, so I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy, super happy about that. That's the root system there because Floridas are not easy to root. Floridas are hard to root. I don't know about cardinals because I've never tried to root a cardinal, but I know Floridas are hard to root if they don't have aerial roots and they're not on a pole. It's really hard to root. They're slow to root, but they're quick to grow, which is great. And so it's in moss. You can see that the moss is still pretty humid at the moment, so I'm not gonna repot it anytime soon. I'm gonna repot it in a week probably and give it a pole. Okay, I could just grow it like this. I don't have to give it a pole. It just won't get bigger. So we'll see. I absolutely adore this plant already. It's already my favorite plant I've ever owned, I think. Like, look. Okay, I'm just gonna... It's pretty big already. I'm gonna put a picture of the picture that I saw a picture of it on Kaylee Ellen's channel, and then I googled it and I found an amazing picture of it, and I was like, that's the plant I want. Yeah, so this was the goal, and I've now hit the goal. So I guess I could slow down on buying, but I don't know. Will I? I don't know. I am looking for a Clarinervium, so there's that. Yeah, this plant haul has been my favorite plant haul because there are 2 plants that I've wanted for a very long time that I finally have, and that's great. And I wouldn't have been able to have them in Australia because they were just out of my price range back home, back in Australia, and here they're actually within my price range, which is nice. I joked with my colleague today. I went to get something from work, and I joked that this was my paycheck, basically, which it basically is. But yeah, I absolutely adore this plant. I'm so happy with it. I'm gonna call it Cardi B because my Florida Ghost, my bigger one, is Megan Thee Stallion. So that's what I'm gonna call it. Yeah, but I'm super happy. I'm so happy. This is the dream. This was the dream. So, I don't know. if anyone thinks I should give it a pull, or like if anyone has any ideas on how I should grow it, great. I've read that they are super easy, super resilient, and Heather said that too. So I'm very positive that I can make this big. And it is also a slight investment plant. I will be selling cuttings from it eventually when it gets to the size that it can, because I love my plants and they will get too big for this room. So I do need to cut them eventually to make space. So I will be selling them eventually. But yeah, this is my Philodendron Florida Bronze. Look. Oh. So that was this week's plant haul. I have completed one of my plant goals, which is fantastic. And I now don't know where to go from there. So it's a good thing I've just started a bit of a Hoya obsession, because that's gonna make me want to collect more stuff. Lionel is doing much better than what he was before. He did, as I said, he was in the hospital. He's feeling much better, and his bladder is finally empty, so he's able to pee again. And I'm just gonna spend the weekend with him and just hang out. Oh, and Archie, who's in the back there somewhere doing his own thing. But yeah, if you liked my video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Say bye, Lionel. Say bye. Say bye.